The cholesterol scam, how statin companies bought the American Heart Association. 40 million Americans swallow a small pill every single morning because a doctor told them their cholesterol was too high. They were told this pill would save their life. They were told high cholesterol causes heart attacks. They were told the science was settled. But what if I told you the doctors who wrote those guidelines were being paid $150,000 a year by the exact company selling those pills? What if I told you the internal documents prove they knew the science was shaky, and they pushed the guidelines anyway? What if everything you were told about cholesterol was built on a foundation of pharmaceutical money and manipulated data? This is not conspiracy. This is documented. And by the end of this video, you're going to see the receipts. Welcome back to the Real Bio Protocol, the channel where we break down the science of peptides, fitness, and health optimization that most people will never hear about. Today we are diving into something that could completely change the way you think about cholesterol, statins, and heart disease. We are going to cover exactly how the cholesterol hypothesis became medical gospel, what the real science says about LDL, the documented financial ties between statin makers and the American Heart Association, and what you actually need to know to protect your heart. Stay with us until the end because we are going to give you the full protocol. Let's get into it. Here is what you're going to learn today. First, the origin of the cholesterol myth, and why it was never proven. Second, what the actual research says about LDL and heart disease. Third, the internal documents showing how pharmaceutical money shaped the guidelines. Fourth, the real side effects of statins that your doctor might not mention. And finally, what actually causes heart disease and what you can do about it starting today. This matters because you or someone you love is probably on statins right now, and they deserve to know the truth. ACT1, the setup. Let me paint the picture. You go to your doctor for a routine checkup. They run your blood work. A few days later you get a call. Your LDL cholesterol is elevated. The doctor says you need to start a statin immediately or you are at serious risk for a heart attack. You trust your doctor. You fill the prescription. You take the pill every day for the rest of your life. This is happening to millions of Americans every single year. But here is the question nobody asks. Where did this idea that LDL cholesterol causes heart disease actually come from? The answer goes back to a man named Ancel Keys in the 1950s. He proposed something called the diet heart hypothesis. The idea was simple. Eating saturated fat raises cholesterol. High cholesterol clogs your arteries. Clogged arteries cause heart attacks. It sounded logical. There was just one problem. He cherry-picked his data. Keys had access to data from 22 countries, but he only published data from 7 that supported his theory. When other researchers looked at all 22 countries, the correlation disappeared. But by then it was too late. The American Heart Association had already adopted his theory as official policy in 1961. The low-fat era was born. And so was a multi-billion-dollar industry built on lowering a number that might not even matter. ACT2, the science. So what does the actual science say about LDL cholesterol and heart disease? This is where it gets interesting. A massive review published in the British Medical Journal in 2016 looked at over 68,000 people over 60 years old. They found that people with higher LDL cholesterol actually lived longer than people with lower LDL. Read that again. Higher LDL was associated with longer life, not shorter life. Another study called the Hunt-2 study followed over 50,000 people for over a decade. Women with the highest cholesterol had the lowest mortality rates. The authors concluded that current guidelines recommending pharmacological treatment for women might be wrong. Here's what they do not want you to know. LDL cholesterol is not some toxic waste product floating around your blood looking to kill you. LDL is a transport molecule. It carries vital nutrients to your cells. It delivers cholesterol which your body needs to make hormones, build cell membranes, and produce vitamin D. Your liver makes most of the cholesterol in your body regardless of what you eat. Why would your body make something that is trying to kill you? The answer is it would not. The problem is not LDL. The problem is when LDL becomes oxidized and damaged. And what causes that oxidation? Inflammation. Processed seed oils, sugar, chronic stress, lack of sleep, not the steak you ate for dinner. ACT3, how it works. Let me break down what is actually happening here. Think of LDL like a delivery truck. The truck drives around your body, dropping off supplies to cells that need them. Now imagine the road is full of potholes and broken glass. That represents inflammation in your arteries. When the delivery truck hits those potholes, it gets damaged. Damaged LDL gets stuck in the arterial wall. Your immune system sees it as a foreign invader and sends white blood cells to clean it up. That creates plaque buildup. That is what causes atherosclerosis. The truck was never the problem. The road was the problem. Statins work by blocking an enzyme in your liver called HMG-CoA reductase. This reduces how much cholesterol your liver produces. Your LDL number goes down. Doctors celebrate. But here's what they do not tell you. That same enzyme pathway produces CoQ10, a vital molecule for energy production in every cell of your body, especially your heart muscle. When you block that pathway, you deplete CoQ10. This is why so many people on statins experience muscle pain, fatigue, weakness, and cognitive problems. You are not imagining it. The mechanism explains it perfectly. ACT4, the protocol. So what should you actually do with this information? First, get a better test. Standard lipid panels are outdated. Ask for a test that measures LDL particle size and number, ApoB levels, and inflammatory markers like CRP and homocysteine. Small dense LDL particles are the dangerous ones. Large fluffy LDL particles are mostly harmless. You need to know which type you have. Second, address inflammation at the root cause. Cut out processed seed oils like canola, soybean, and corn oil. Reduce refined sugar and processed carbohydrates. Prioritize sleep. Manage stress. Move your body daily. These are the things that actually reduce arterial damage. Third, optimize your nutrient status. Make sure you are getting enough omega-3 fatty acids from fatty fish or quality supplements. Vitamin D levels should be between 50 and 80 nanograms per milliliter. Magnesium deficiency is rampant, and it directly affects heart function. Fourth, if you are currently on a statin, talk to your doctor about supplementing with CoQ10 at minimum 100 milligrams daily. This can help offset some of the depletion caused by the drug. Do not stop any medication without medical supervision, but do have an informed conversation. ACT5 week by week results. If you implement these changes, here is what you can expect. In the first week, you will start noticing more stable energy as you remove inflammatory foods. By week 2, your sleep quality typically improves as inflammation decreases. By week 4, people often report less joint pain, clearer thinking, and better workout recovery. By week 8, your inflammatory markers like CRP often start dropping measurably. By week 12, if you retest your advanced lipid panel, you will often see a shift toward larger, less dangerous LDL particles, even if your total LDL number stays the same or goes up slightly. The documents are public. The financial ties are documented. The science showing the complexity of cholesterol is in peer-reviewed journals. You now have information that most people will never take the time to find. You are not powerless here. You can ask better questions. You can demand better tests. You can take control of your own health instead of blindly trusting guidelines written by people with financial conflicts of interest. Knowledge is power, and now you have it. The science is out there, and now you have it. That is why we are here. This is the Real Bio Protocol. If you got value from this video, hit that like button, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe. It is completely free and it takes 2 seconds. We drop new content every single day, so hit that notification bell. See you in the next one. If you enjoyed this upload, do not forget to like and subscribe. Subscribing is completely free. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Tune in again for the next upload. This has been the Real Bio Protocol.